Alright, time for some solo gathering in the roads of Avalon. Now I am also a tier 7 fiber gatherer. So I do have a tier 7 sickle with me. Here I do have the choice between 2 roads portals. I suppose I'm going to take the one that has 7 out of 7 charges to enter. Just hoping that there will be less competition, even though on the brown streets, there usually isn't much competition, which is kind of mainly the thing that I'm looking for, but I'm also checking out all the gathering areas as well, so their competition will be relevant. Likewise, it's probably better to have less competition in general. It's probably just generally better to have less competition there. Because I don't want anybody to take beautiful 6.2 and 6.3 resource mobs away from me. There's a big 6.0 stone stack. Maybe I should have gone to the fiber area first, actually. Because right now it's right after the reset, likewise less competition. So I could potentially benefit more from me playing at this time if I immediately went there. But I also want to check out this wood area. Wouldn't really have mattered to clear this whole map if I went first into the east or into the northwest, I guess. There is a mob that is beneficial to my profit per time. Oh, I did actually let myself get hit by the one thing. Not very good. But I feel pretty positive about being able to kill this mob rather easily. Because it does use some ability from time to time, which should give me some extra time. Because these standard attacks definitely hurt a lot. Yeah, obviously the main reason why I'm taking damage. But now my energy is super low already. Looking quite good though. I will be able to continue spamming my Qs. And I will also be able to use one more E. But I don't think I need it, I can just use my W as well. Will be enough of a buff to finish this mob quickly. I could think about getting my Ox closer to this, probably a good idea. Because I will suffer from overweight, considering that I'm not using any bag or anything. Because very quickly a bag will not be enough anymore for me to carry all this stuff using this style. It's a little bit funny how my inventory is always more valuable now than my equipment that is actually equipped. But maybe I'm going to change that in the future. I haven't seen anything dangerous yet. I am able to kill all the old tier 7 mobs. Maybe I will not be able to kill the old tier 8 mobs. That's possible. And that's somewhat concerning because old tier 8 mobs would be really good. And probably even good enough when I'm only tier 7. Because of the 100% gathering speed bonus from special resource mobs. While tier 8 resources are just generally super valuable. Comparatively. I'm not 100% sure, but I may want to upgrade my gear to tier 8 actually. Which should not be super expensive, but quite a bit more expensive, I suppose. Because the gear that I'm using right now on tier 7 really is relatively cheap. Those are relatively cheap items. Battle axe is pretty... The battle axe is pretty, like, common. A lot of people like this weapon. Likewise, it's a bit more expensive considering that it's basically a cheap item. But... Old tier 5 Skyflower Dryad. I said, when I'm tier 8, it's worth it, money-wise. When I'm tier 7, it's probably not that great money-wise. I think I'm not going to take it, to be honest. I will take the old tier 5 trees, I suppose. I'm definitely going to take those things when they are 5.1, except stone. Everything except stone I will take on 5.1 on of these old mobs. But I'm going to skip those old tier 5 mobs, unless it's wood, because I gather it extremely quickly. Because I'm still mainly looking for money, even though I'm leveling, I think. Mainly money for now. Because after all, the most important thing for leveling up is continuously having premium. Those learn points are insanely valuable. And of course, this premium bonus all day long when gathering is great. And the insane fame bonuses, no matter if gathering, no matter if PvE, loot bonus in PvE, all this good stuff. Very much something I do want to keep. Not worth it if you don't play enough, to be honest. But right now, I believe I'm playing enough for premium actually to be worth it for me. Not 100% sure, I didn't do the math. It is possible that I would be swimming in silver if I didn't have premium. Because premium is super expensive. But I actually want to check out all the round streets that are reasonable path-wise. Likewise, I'm going to walk this way, then do everything here around the golden chest, then probably like this. Yeah. Wait a second. If I go like this, golden chest, into blue chest, into checking out everything here, then this. Yeah. I think I got a plan. I think I got a plan for being relatively efficient at clearing the whole thing here. Actually being super efficient micromanagement wise here, right there. Starting together the one thing that was already dead, while the other slate thing is dying from bleeding quickly enough so it doesn't attack me one more time. That's efficiency. How valuable is 6.1 stone? 1k? Nice. That is decent, considering how quickly I'm gathering it. Very decent. Worth taking, definitely. Tier 6 stone. Difficult question, but probably also worth it. For now. Giving like, what? 600 silver per piece, I think. Do I have some? I do have some. 670. Yeah. Good enough. Good enough. Basically a 5.1 resource of the other sorts, of the other professions. And basically you'll find way more stone than everything else usually, simply because it's so bad. And likewise, it's slightly more efficient, because you have to spend less time running around and can spend more time directly gathering stuff. So stone is kind of interesting. For sure, on tier 5 and below, it's just complete garbage. But besides that, let's take a little dip, because I'm not really going to want to look at this the whole in a holistic way, let's say. And that's not only true because it rhymes. But tier 6 stone and tier 7 stone are definitely always something to consider. Another baby. And the last couple of runs that I spent in the roads were relatively lucky in a way. Either finding a lot of babies or the other time finding such a tier 6 harvester home. Why do they have so many different names for the same thing? Cropper, harvester, whatever. A little bit confusing, let's say. Let's take a look what the name for the tool is. Grandmaster sickle, okay, nothing confusing there, basically. Is there any name? Elder, yeah, here it's called harvester, but the journals are called cropper. Weird. But I mean, maybe it makes sense, because maybe those laborers that the journals are referring to are a different sort of, let's say, ooh, this is beautiful. This is super valuable. This is amazing. I'm very interested in seeing how much money I will get from this. Only one piece, pretty bad. Premium bonus, okay. Premium bonus, okay. One piece. And one gather bonus. Below average. 240k. I was slightly unlucky, let's say. About how many pieces I got from it. Any mobs here? Any resource mobs? Nope. So let's go for the blue chest. And then check out almost the rest of all the brown streets here on the eastern side. And then the west. Let's take all of it for now. And then figure out later if I need to throw away something. What was I talking about beforehand? I don't remember, but let's continue putting my inventory into order. So definitely slightly unlucky with the amount of resources that I've gotten from the 6.3 thing, but still pretty close to average, I would say. Considering that I got probably -2, maybe only -1 when going for the 100% average, you know what I mean? Maybe not true though, because premium bonus 2 out of 5 is basically unlucky, but very close to the standard variation, let's say. The standard average. Super close. And I got 1 gathering bonus. So let's see how high is my gathering bonus for this. Hide 32.5. Tier 6 hide 30%. So 30% of hive is basically 2. Almost. Not 100%. 33% would be 2 out of 5. Right? Yeah, I think so. That's a lot of resource mobs at once. And that's basically what I was talking about earlier, previously. Usually I find way more resource mobs. Like in this way. Usually I find these amounts of resource mobs in the roads. It may be that it's just a better time to gather right now. Less competition probably. Like finding so many resource mobs in one place makes gathering in the brown streets pretty efficient. And from time to time there are going to be enchanted ones. Like finding this 6.3 Cougar. I think that's its name. Mist Cougar. From time to time you're going to run into those. And they're super valuable. The tree randomly dodging. Even though I went to the east, it went to the south. Those unpredictable dodging patterns. I'm pretty sure I'm also going to get the tier 6 stone stack there. I don't think that too many people are interested in taking it. Almost didn't see this Amber Leaf Dryad. Was blending pretty well into the background here, into the floor colors. Gathering these things now super quickly. Only Ord still left to get to tier 7. Getting very decent gathering speeds for my current purposes. And also unlocking the option for me to actually take super valuable resources, of course. Which I do definitely sometimes find in the roads. Like not super valuable because tier 8, I do not find tier 8 too often, but I don't check too many gathering areas either. When I'm running around in the roads otherwise. Only rather rarely I go through gathering areas. So... But I definitely do find decent amounts of tier 7 resources. Just consider how often I already found tier 7 trees. Definitely have seen a lot of tier 7 fiber as well already. I mean, in the last 2 runs, I each killed 1 old tier 7 Dryad, I think. So, definitely at least the tier 7 resources are very present in the roads. So, if I happen to run into an enchanted one, I will be very happy about already having unlocked the tier 7 levels. The money that I've already made is also not that bad, I think. Like, I'm running around for 19 minutes so far. And I'm already at quite a decent amount of money, I would say. I mean, the 6.3 definitely helps a lot. I did finish a lot of journals already that had already been started in other runs. So this is also changing the loot a little bit. It's not 100% accurate because I don't start with completely empty journals every run, obviously. Should always logically finish the ones that you still have open. Anything else would be silly, for sure. So basically getting some money that I started getting already in previous runs. I did already put the work into it. Unless sometimes I kill somebody who has journals, but I usually don't pick up journals that are already started. I usually only pick up either full journals or journals that are already full, because usually when you kill people you have a very limited amount of space in your inventory, except for maybe Brazilian, where you can just reset all day long very quickly without really having much penalties to suffer from. Let's say it like that. And in Brazilian it's definitely very, very different. While in the roads under the Black Zone you basically want to stay as long as possible, because you've walked so far and got into places that you wanted to get into. Or to, not into, into, no, it depends, I guess, on the place. And in Brazilian, I mean, when you're gathering in Brazilian, that's a different story, of course, because you still want to stay in the tier 7 and tier 8 maps. Don't really want to go back, especially since Brazilian is super safe. The mists are extremely safe. Normally you cannot die there if you don't fight. Unless you're playing like some weird gear that has absolutely no mobility. I don't know if I see that at all. Like even solo battle axe builds do have either a jump or a movement speed on the W. Are decently tanky because they are using leather. Usually also have some kind of helmet that you can at least use defensively. Like even if it's a purge helmet, you can purge an enemy's movement speed or something, making it much more likely for you to survive an encounter if you actually play defensively. So usually pretty hard to die in the mists if you play normal builds. Solo PvE nature staffs could have problems in the mist surviving, because they have zero mobility, and if somebody with just like 300 IP more comes around, you're just dead, I guess, because you cannot run away. But solo PvE nature staff healers on damage are not that weak in 1v1 when kiting, so maybe it doesn't look as dire. If some 300 IP, some dude with 300 IP more actually chases you, you may actually just win the fight. Because in PvP, those solo nature staff builds are basically meant to be kiting builds. Not with a lot of mobility, but quite some kiting tools, in the sense that you got slows and knockback. Usually nature staffs have the biggest problems against ranged DPS. Those are pretty good against nature staffs. Like when I'm playing a curse staff or something, a nature staff simply doesn't have a chance to win. PvP spells against PvP spells. Looking pretty dire for a nature staff in those cases. Because there's no way to efficiently kite a cursed if you have 1v1 cursed spells equipped. clicking a Q like every 1.5 seconds or something, or 2 seconds, I don't know. Probably just 1 second, and being able to move in between is really good against nature. So you don't get too many stacks from the Qs, even though you will get quite a lot. Those Qs from the nature staffs are not dodgeable. But the DPS is just too high of the cursed. While the nature staff DPS is just too low comparatively. So I'm almost done with the southeastern part of this map. Was pretty quick, I think. Was indeed pretty quick. But I mean, there weren't many resource things here in the southeast. And I'm still not done, of course. But if it takes me the same time... I mean, it's not super quick. Like, I would estimate that I usually need, like... I mean, my gathering tools are getting better. I'm gathering faster and faster. So... And I did find very decent amounts of resource mobs here, right? Like, once again here, finding 3 resource mobs at once, really good. Really, really good. And 2 of them being animals. Best case scenario, basically. Except only finding animals. That's the only other possible thing to make it even better. But very decent loot so far. I'm very curious to see if I can find something beautiful there in those fiber areas. Sadly, I cannot gather those tier 8 resources there. I mean, I can gather them if they are just flat tier 8 resources. It would be kind of nice to find one old tier 8 mob just to test if I'm strong enough to kill it. Because those tier 7 old resource mobs are already pretty... those fights are pretty close. I do still have a few non-tradable fame books lying around. Maybe I'll get some more levels on my gear. But who knows if I actually want to continue using this gear. I could also switch. Could, for example, use a curse staff instead of the battle axe. Of course, then I won't have the sustain, but I would have way higher DPS, which could be worth it. This guy was fighting someone somehow. He is not in a group though, he's solo. Hopefully he doesn't chase me. It's very interesting that he's overcharged. Maybe he had a 1v1. I think he had a giant stack, right? So he also may be a gatherer. Kind of sad that I'm not going to look at this street, but it's probably not that insanely sad. The street here in the south is probably better. Probably higher chance to find resource mobs. Let's see if I actually find some fiber stuff in those fiber areas, or even better, animals. A nice, beautiful 5.3 old tiger, even though those are cougars here. But who cares? Who cares? My pork pie running out quite soon. Do want to remember eating the next pork pie for the gathering bonus. More fame, more loot. Just good. For a very low price. So many resource mobs. So good. This is what I usually find in the roads. when I'm gathering like this. These amounts are much more what I was remembering when thinking about using this style. Leading those brown streets. Wait a second. Yeah, this is a really good map layout for me. I will be able to walk all this long brown street all this way towards the exit that I want to get to. And last time I was thinking about how if it's worth it to teleport or to just walk back to town, and 30k was not worth it. 30k silver was not worth it, and I was super close to town. Likewise, this time I'm much further away from town. Oh, wait a second, did I walk an inefficient way? It's gonna be fine, I'm just going to do it like this. Now I'm just going to, because I definitely want to run around the back here. I want to see if I can find something beautiful in this brown street up here. And I'm pretty optimistic that I will already eat my pork pie. Even though that's not really necessary, all the resources that I'm going to find I will have to kill first. Except maybe in the gathering area. There can be exceptions there. There can indeed be exceptions. And it's kind of guaranteed that I will find at least one resource mob here, so I wouldn't have needed to preemptively eat my pork pie, I suppose. It's not really a big deal. Wasting 20 seconds on a pork pie is really like those... The amount of money that I wasted there is very, very insignificant. Even though I really like how for overcharge, when you do the second overcharge, it just adds the additional 30 minutes instead of like you having to wait until the overcharge almost runs out to reset it to 30. I wish for using the same food it worked the same way. That would be really nice. Where you could just see, okay, my pork pie still runs 5 minutes. I'm just going to eat my second pork pie and then you will have 35 minutes instead. That would be really nice. So you don't feel so wasteful all the time when you eat slightly beforehand. Just in case of actually having some random encounter. It doesn't... Usually not a problem for pork pie, I think. But... like for combat situations. It would be kind of nice. Because there you usually eat like 2 or 3 minutes before, or even 4 minutes before. Just to be safe that if combat happens, PvP happens, you are ready and you don't have to waste time in a fight eating something, because every millisecond counts in PvP. Oh well. Really looks like I'm going to reach the 2 million per hour this run. Really looks like it. The 6.3 Tiger surely helped. The tier 7 3 probably also was pretty good. I do gather it very quickly. Because I'm in tier 8 Lumberjack. And it gave me how much? 150k. Did I kill 2? Or did I only gather 1? I think I only gathered... there was just a random tree as well, right? Had the old mob and the random tree. Like the old mob has 20 pieces, which is pretty nice. For tier 7 resource, imagine a tier 8 resource that's like 100k, I think. So, pretty good stuff. All tier 8 resource mobs are definitely very desirable. And here we go, actually finding some tier 7 fiber. Which I pretty often find, I think. I think I find tier 7 fiber pretty often in the roads. I'm not so sure about basalt, but maybe I just simply haven't found very many stone areas in the past. I mean, I haven't been looking for gathering areas in the last, like, I don't know, 5 months or so. Or maybe 4. Not 100% sure. I've definitely found a lot of fiber. A decent amount of wood, for sure. Stone, I don't know. Hide, not that much. Or not that much. But as I said, I really haven't been looking for it either. So nothing really telling in a way. Would I want to gather an old hide animal? Probably, right? It's quite a bit more expensive than those other tier 5 things. Probably worth it to take it. I definitely have easily enough carry weight for it. That's for sure. Tier 5 hide is probably worth it, yeah. I'm going to gather it slower than wood, of course. But still relatively fast, and it's, as I said, quite a bit more valuable than all the other tier 5 resources. Let's quickly clear this here as well. And then it's time to look into the fiber area. It's not like it takes very long to do this. Already 7% towards tier 8. Don't get the raw. This is tier 7, okay. Wasn't sure if it was tier 7 or tier 8. Nonetheless, great, of course. Does it have a bleeding attack? I don't really see anything like that. And once again, those tigers are the weakest of all them. Of all of these resource mobs. Like, I'm not having any problems at all. Likewise, I also think that I would not have any problems against a tier 8 tiger. But of course, amazing here to actually find this beautiful kind of thing. It's going to be very nice money. Let's see how expensive tier 7 hide is. 4.2 compared to the 3.1. 25% more expensive than wood. Also pretty nice for leveling up, of course. Seems like I'm already 8% towards becoming a tier 8 skinner. Not really, because I don't... Wait a second. I'm not a tier 7 or miner yet. That's why I still have so many learn points left. How many learn points does it cost to upgrade this? 409. Yeah, not much more than to tier 7, because it simply doesn't require much more fame. So the learn point costs are also not that insanely much higher. Like 350 to 410. How much is that percent wise? I don't know, and I don't want to calculate. But one thing is for sure, I'm very soon going to run into some learn point troubles. I mean, it's still going to take me a little bit longer to get to the 20%, but already being 7% towards becoming a tier 8 stone gatherer, and already 9% towards becoming a tier 8 skinner. That's pretty close already. 1 out of 5. That's why I really don't like killing wolves in the roads. Very often they are not full. I've seen an old tier 5 fiber thing down there. Not very interesting. Unless it's enchanted. Then it becomes very interesting. So let's see if I can find anything else that's nice. 5.1, sure, I'll take it. I'll take it. There is something. It's an aspect. Aspects have so much heal right now. You know, I could go back and get some solo nature stuff gear. But those aspects have so much heal right now. I probably cannot kill it, cause the regeneration fucks me up too much. I could take a quick look at how much it's regenerating and how much damage it deals to me. The damage is not super high, but I'm also using tier 7 tank gear, so I'm pretty tanky. So hard to see the HP. But now my damage buffs ran out. Is it regenerating more than I dealing damage? I got only 2k HP down of it. I'm having energy issues, which would not be the issue with the solo PvE. Druid staff, for example. But I wouldn't heal much more. The only worrying thing about it would be... do I kill it fast enough before it goes into rage mode, which is, I believe, 10 minutes? Am I able to kill this thing within 10 minutes? Like my DPS is not that much higher. I could try. I also don't need to take expensive gear or anything. Can just come with, I don't know, tier 3 orcs, tier 6, oh well. Probably tier 4 orcs. And tier 7 druid gear. Oh god, I could try. Definitely would want roast pork. But I'm kind of scared about not dealing enough damage, to be honest. That's really worrying, that it just takes too long. But I could try. I did deal some damage, but it took me like... how long did it take me to... actually deal these 2 damage? I think in the end I got it down to 50k. Not 50k, like 59k or something. Of 63. I would deal slightly more damage with the druidic stuff because I would be using a mercenary jacket. I think the HP was reduced because of my armor. So this changed stuff a little bit. I have seen the old tier 5 riot from the top of the thing. From the plateau, let's say. Haven't seen that one yet. Hopefully it's enchanted, then I will take it. Whoops. Could try killing that, but I probably want to use tier 8 gear. Tier 8 gear is actually expensive. Oh, yes! 5.2. Yeah. Amazing. Tons of fame. Decent amount of money. Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. I mean, for sure, perfect would be 5.3. But maybe the 5.3 Tiger is waiting for me right around the corner. Haven't checked out everything here yet. Even though I'm pretty close to actually having seen everything here. 5.2, very nice, very nice. Not super expensive, but 1.38k silver per piece times 104 times 1.5 because premium plus like 1. I don't know 2 or something. That's not really how it works. So let's say 1.7 or something because I have some levels in tier 5 plus pork pie and stuff. That's 100k, let's say 200k in a relatively short amount of time, I would think. I mean, I'm gathering this really quickly because I'm already at tier 7. Harvester? Am I a harvester or am I a cropper? I'm a harvester, right? Is there a difference? Crop people only take crop, I guess. And harvester take all plants that are useful. Unless I'm misunderstanding the word crop, maybe. Potentially, possibly. Ooh, and I've gotten an expert fiber harvester tome. Definitely more than 2 million per hour today. In this Rose run. Definitely more because I already have more than 2 million loot in my inventory while I'm only running around for like max 46 minutes or something. 47. I'm not 100% sure how long I talked while just randomly standing around in the Bridgewater portal. But it shouldn't have been too long, I guess. I suppose. Nice. Oh! Actually more. Ah yeah, because it's 1.38. Right, right. I was calculating with like 1k per piece. Totally forgetting that those pieces are worth like more than 30% more than just 1k per piece. A nice little 250k, additionally 200k because of the lucky book drop. Pretty solid. What can I say? Pretty good. Pretty good. So imagine 250k from this. If this was 5.3, I would definitely get at least 1 million, right? Probably more. Probably more than 1 million. 5.3, how valuable was it? Was it 6k or something? I think in my last run in the black zone I found some 5.3 something and I think it was 5k or 6k per piece. So this year times let's say times 4 would be 1 million. So I'll probably get 1 million if it's not hide. And if it's stone, then I will get significantly less, of course. But if it's height, more than 1 million. If it's not height, probably 1 million. Which is pretty decent, because it takes me like, I don't know, let's say not very long to kill and gather it. I still have the option to buy myself some cute tier 8 nature staff gear and go back to this area and see if I can kill this mob. Do I want to do so? It would be insanely annoying if, let's say, somebody else came as well. And it's a starting area, so the chance that somebody comes into this fiber area and takes a look is pretty high. Also, the aspect is not that super valuable either. But it's okay. It's okay. Doesn't take super long to gather it and stuff. Has a decent price, of course. Like, tier 6 resources are pretty good on this server. So, probably okay. Probably not worth the risk. I mean, it takes very long to kill it, of course. I don't know if I do enough damage. I have super bad levels on the nature staffs as well, which is definitely a problem, and I don't think I can use... Can I use cloth? I can probably not use cloth armor. Cloth robes. Like, I'm thinking about it for the extra damage, of course. I think I will take too much damage. I think I will not be able to tank this thing. I could try. It's also going to be super annoying when it starts spawning, because my DPS will drop a lot. Like those aspects cost me 35k to teleport, yeah, sure. Those aspects do spawn these annoying roots or whatever that follow you. I mean, theoretically, it's maybe reset helmet. Do you have energy on cursed staffs? I do have much higher levels on cursed. I think I'm gonna try something. Let's put all of my beautiful loot away. And let's risk a little bit. Do I want to use tier 8 or tier 7 gear? Let's actually go with tier 7 gear. Let's go with tier... No, I have a tier 8 armor lying around here, and that's worth 300k. Which is kind of the reason why I don't want to use that kind of stuff. I want to use a worse ox. A giant stack is probably not enough. Let's go with the tier 4 ox.
Welcome, friend.
Transport ox. Tier 4. Not a sickle. Let's go 30k. So I do want... let's take a look at if I already got some gear lying around. Yeah, I wanted to go with cursed actually. So I'm just going to need some fiber. Basically. And I may need more of those. Who knows? So I do want a... Do I want a one-hand curse? Probably not. Probably I do. I probably do want a one-hand cursed. Do I have a tier 7 one-hand cursed? I don't. Do I have... do I want a mist caller? Probably. So I do want a mercenary jacket for sure. I probably want a reset helmet for more healing. What else do I want? I do want random tier 7 boots. Okay, I have none of that. So, I do have random tier 7 boots right here. I can keep the Fort Sterling cape. Let's actually go with the Thetford cape, to be honest. So, I do need 1 pork pie and I do need 1 food. 1 roast pork. Roast pork. I want a couple more journals. Should be fine. So, cast staff. Let's try it, because DPS should be pretty high. 160, 90, 132. Outstanding. Yeah, just leveling it manually will probably be better because this one is so cheap. I'm going to want to use these things here. I will need energy, I believe. So, mercenary jacket. Tier 7, 112. 91. Same price there, basically. Let's go with 7.0 like this. I do want a mist caller. Super cheap on tier 6. Then let's take that. And I do want... Actually, let's just go with the mage cowl. I think has very low cooldown. I like it, and the damage is pretty high. My levels are not too great on it, which is pretty sad. 30k. Let's go. I don't need anything else, right? Do I want potions? Probably not. Probably not. So, yeah, sure, repair, but reroll this. Alright. Where was I coming from? I was in the north, right? Don't really need a potion. I could have taken a gathering potion, actually. A gathering potion could have been legit, to be honest. How expensive am I right now? 600k. Interesting. I also look kind of funny. So let's take a look at the Dryad. I'm really not that expensive, which is kind of nice. If I was using tier 8k, I would at least be worth 1 million. Which is not super nice. Maybe a defensive helmet would have been better. It's possible. But I mostly worry about being able to kill it fast enough. Only level 89, which is kind of sad. But still decent IP, 1300. Definitely more than on the battle axe, of course. Let's take a look at the Dryad. Somebody killed somebody, probably because of the chest. Right now I also basically have my PvP spells equipped. Maybe I would want to switch to Inferno Shield for PvP. Depends on the matchup, mostly. Let's go to the Dryad as quickly as possible and see what's going to happen. I mean, maybe somebody's just doing it right now solo, which is very unlikely because most people will simply not risk it because it's super strong, takes super long. And most people with most gears can't even do it, I guess, I think. Very curious if if this will be good enough. Basically, the roast pork hopefully carrying me. I mean, it's going to be a lot of healing. But actually going for the cursed beam may be better, maybe not. Hard to say. Difficult stuff, but I will probably need to run a lot, to be honest. Okay, let's see. Is somebody here trying to die? No, currently nobody dying here. So I want enough space. Where can I pull this thing to? Can I fight it here? Yeah, this looks fine. Oh, I still have the wrong spells. Whoops. Do need to switch. Rest is fine. Time to eat the roast pork. Let's go. So, it didn't reset there, so... let's go. Big question is, am I healing enough? Time to use my armor, I think. Oh no, I had way too much HP still. Am I dealing enough damage? Probably. I think this will be enough to kill it. I do have energy problems, I think. I probably also want to spam my boots for the heal. Definitely can spam my helmet a lot. And I definitely have to dodge these roots. Oh, I missed using my W. Oh, this was really bad, but I do have my armor. I do have a lot of energy problems. Not much health problems. Maybe I do not want to use my W. But now I'm not really having enough health anymore. Difficult. My health is kind of fine. DPS is looking fine as well. Just need to attack enough and probably not use my W very often, but sometimes. Right now I seem to have enough. Already got it down to half basically, almost. Let's go. I need more energy. Actually, maybe the one-hand cast stuff is really not the best. Because it constantly kills the Q stacks. Not getting hit by that would be pretty good, and I think it's not really necessary for me to get hit by it. I can stay closer to the mob. I think there's not a big reason to not be a little bit closer. So I at least don't get hit by all of it. Could also try to save my boots for it. Oh, failed my W. Wasn't very good. But this generally is looking pretty good. I didn't look at the time. In hindsight, I could use the video to check how long I needed to kill this. But yeah, my HP is looking pretty good. Seems easier than I thought. Now I can use my armor again. It's also kind of sad to have to use my auto attacks to get the healing from my armor. But I suppose it's fine. And the energy seems to be enough as well. I think I have enough energy for another W as well. Oh, dodge. Alright. Actually able to kill an aspect solo. Tier 6 aspect though. This may not be enough for tier 7. Even though in that case I may just need a slightly higher level on my items. That's what helping a little bit with the armor as well. Saving the boots for the AoE attack could be pretty good as well. Not 100% sure about it. Also possible that you would want to use maybe something different than Mistcaller. Cooldown reduction is really good in a way. Like spamming some of these spells. But then you do get into some trouble with energy. Maybe a torch would be the best thing for that. Because this gives attack speed, so I get more energy from my passive. While also getting cooldown reduction. Torch could be, with at least the curse stuff, be pretty good. And the damage is so high off the curse stuff. It's so nice. So now I want to use the roast block. Got cooldown. Oh. Yeah, the rest is fine. Probably want to do this. Healing you never may know. Alright, time to gather some fiber. Ah, first time that I gather from an aspect on the EU server. I am definitely going to get overweight. Because I do not have... because I do not have, what's it called? A bag. I will get overweight if somebody takes my ox away. Yeah, actually killing an aspect the first time. Actually, there was a patch where the regeneration for some mobs was changed in the roads. Maybe they also changed it for the aspects. I mean, I can't imagine that ancient resource mobs are stronger than aspects, right? Like, aspects are supposed to be stronger than ancient resource mobs. And I did have trouble to kill one ancient resource mob in the past. The only question is, what kind of gear was I using? I believe I was using the nature staff. So basically solo PvE gear. Huh. Not sure what all this stuff is about. But definitely good to know that with this gear, which is not super expensive, it's possible to kill this thing. And it felt like it didn't take very long. I, of course, have super high DPS with the curse staff, like, naturally. Going with the PvE spells, like, the damage is just going to be insane. Super high DPS. But I really wonder how long it took. After recording this, I will definitely take a look at the time that I needed in the Windows Media Player. My go-to video watching tool on the PC. Even though, like, who the hell looks at videos on PCs, right? Usually you don't use tools, you just use websites. The money could be kind of good. Probably 400k, 500k or something. I mean, the risk is kind of high, I suppose. Not sure how often you will get the free time to actually kill one, but... There's a person, but okay, this person really does not want to deal with me. If this guy would attack me, like, even if he had a friend using the same gear, I would win 1v2 when being overweight. Like, there is no way. So, 80k from that, 500k from this. Not too terrible. I could teleport for 60. Okay, I'm teleporting. I'm teleporting. Last time I was talking about how 30k is not worth running for like 2 minutes. Now I basically have a saving of, I don't know, 40k with this super slow tier 4 ox. Actually, a tier 3 ox would have been enough, but tier 4 ox is definitely quite a bit tankier and faster. So, yeah, this was the loot, right? Yeah. So, a little bit more loot. So, I have been running around for 1 hour, 10 minutes, or rather 1 hour and 13 minutes, changing gear and all that stuff, buying this kind of gear, etc. And I made 2.8 million. Very interesting and nice to know that at least the tier 6 fiber aspect is not such a big deal. Maybe others are more difficult.